What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So glad that you guys can join me here. It is the month of December. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody has got all of the stressful Christmas shopping and everything out of the way, so that way come Christmas Day you guys can have a Merry Christmas. And speaking of Merry Christmas, I would like to go ahead and say from everybody here at Outdoors with Creed, and as much as y'all think it's just me, there is my wife and kids who sometimes have to put up with me constantly coming out here to the shop to do videos. So from everybody here at Outdoors with Creed, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to you all. Hopefully everybody's got some cool plans for Thanksgiving, or not Thanksgiving, I'm sorry, some cool plans for New Year's. I think one of my New Year's resolutions, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there, is I need to do better about getting up in the mornings and doing my cardio. So I'm gonna try to push myself to get up in the morning and a mixture of cardio as far as the ellipticals, the bikes, the rowing machines, but I'm gonna try to throw in getting up and going do some swimming, get a couple laps in the morning. So that is going to be it for my New Year's resolution. I'm not going to do a whole bunch of weight loss resolutions because I'm already pretty regularly in the gym, working out, stuff like that, strength training as far as strength, but then overall, I guess you say body improvement. So I'm not going to really jump into all of that. I guess you could say a resolution would be just try to put out more videos, more content for you guys. More stuff on my fishing. As you can see right here in the background, I have all of my rods out of the boat. I am planning on stripping all the line off of all of these reels and re-spooling them up. So I'll do a couple of videos showing you how I spool those up, as well as going into whenever I did a video some months back talking about this deal here called the butt dial. You basically can set it to what type of fishing line you have, as well as the test poundage on that line. So every time you look at it, you know exactly what you got. I'll go into respooling those and showing you how to utilize those pieces of equipment. Get out on the water more the past few years. I haven't been out on the water as much, doing as much filming as I did in the beginning. So I'm gonna try to get back to that, as well as I did one video on the gun range and then I kind of slacked off on it. So I will try to pump out more videos on the gun range and talk more gun stuff. With that being said, here is our December Monster Bass. As you all know, Monster Bass moved away from the boxes if you have the Platinum edition, and you get these cool reusable bags. So as always, we have our booklet here with all of our information in it, how to use certain lures. There's a page in there that tells you the lunar phases, so that way you can try to pick the most optimal day of going out fishing. We have our Monster Bass ticket. If you tune in to Monster Bass on Thursdays on YouTube, they call out those numbers and you can win cool prizes, as well as get a lot of in-depth information from various professional anglers. And then, as always, the cool Monster Bass stickers. I will leave a link down below for you guys to get on there to Monster Bass and check out these lures, as well as their Monster Bass store, where you can buy the lures that come in these setups, as well as their terminal tackle and things of that nature. They do have fishing rods and fishing reels that they do sell, so you can pretty much get everything right there on Monster Bass. Okay, first up, I'm gonna try to pick out some baits, and if they are in the book, I will read from the book on those. If not, I will try to give you information based on what I have used. And first up, we have, so we're talking cold water fishing. December in my region, in the southern region here in Arkansas, it's cold, guys. I mean, it is cold. Water temperatures are probably low 60s to the upper 50s. So we're talking cold water. And the first one in here is a spinnerbait. And the spinnerbait that I have in my bag is the Z-Man Sling Blade Power Finesse. It's the Luke Clausen blade that he designed with conjunction with Z-Man. This comes in at a 3/8 ounce. Judging on this color of the skirt, I'm gonna say the color of this is Sexy Shad. And yes, I was right. That is one of my favorite colors to throw a great shad imitating bait. With this bait, I would put some kind of a trailer, maybe a boot tail swim bait, or even a swim bait that has a straight tail on it. A great helps imitate the shad. A little bit more profile when the fish bite and they feel that soft plastic. It's something to hold on to, you know. So really good for a bait like this. Recommended a 7-foot medium heavy action rod, 15 to 20 pound fluorocarbon, a 5.6 to 1 gear ratio for your reel. This bait here, you want a slow reel. You're not overworking it. You don't feel like you're having to really spin that, you know, turn that wheel and wear yourself out. Slowly cranking that thing along. Let the blades in that swim bait do its job and impart action. You can add a little bit of flare to it. Pop the rod a couple of times to make that skirt flare out. Maybe even give it a couple pops upward, which will cause that bait to be running like this. And then when you pop it, it'll make it come up like either in this particular situation with cold water, it'll look like an injured bait fish that's trying to swim, and then it gets like a little burst of energy and darts up, and then it starts to die back down. So, you know, kind of experiment with the spinner bait, but mainly this one here looks like it has 2 willow leaf blades on it. Let me see if I'm correct. I am not seeing what kind of blades is on here, but it looks like 2 willow leaf blades, or these Colorado blades. So the Colorado cold dirty water is going to give more thump and more vibration, and the bass are going to be able to feel that with that lateral line on their side. So this is going to help the fish be able to locate this lure right here and help you get more strikes. Let's see what else we got in here. Oh, we got a page in here where it's talking about how to batter and fry crappie. So that's something new that's probably been thrown in the mix in the last couple of boxes. So we have an underspin. Let me see if I can't dig that out. Okay, I don't think I have that lure. I don't. So we're going to move on to something else. Crankbait. So right here we have I'll just throw that wrapper out. The Monsterbass Little Banger crankbait. Square bill. Tequila Sunrise Crawl. Of course, with a square bill, and as always, Monsterbass has their red treble hook that they're known for. That red will put off as if a bait fish is injured or bleeding. So it's kind of a good attractant without having to add a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, crawl pattern. About this time, I never really saw this until one day I was out walking and I saw a live crawfish. They actually do change colors depending on seasons and temperatures. So this is probably going to be a great imitating crawfish for those colder times. banging this thing off of rocks, laydowns, and stuff like that. This one dives down 2 to 4 feet. It weighs 1/3 ounce. And this is a silent, meaning it doesn't have any kind of internal rattles or anything. So very, very subtle bait to fish through an area. With this, whatever your normal crankbait setups, I don't have mine. I mean, I have it down here. I just don't know which one it is, so I'm not even gonna keep looking through. But great bait to use cold water situations. And that was it. That's for lures that's in the book itself. Make sure. There's the spinner bait. Yeah. Okay, so right here we have a missile baits jig, the headbanger. This is designed by Mike Iaconelli, and the color is PBJ. This comes in at a 1 ounce. So with this football style head, I would throw it out deep, and this is something you want to drag. I wouldn't really hop this one. So what I would do with this one is I would probably work this one like a football head jig and drag it. Much like you would a Carolina rig. You don't want to really lift up. You want to maintain that bottom contact. So I would sweep it. For me, I would probably sweep from midline and come to my right. And then as I reel up the slack, come back to the front. And then again, that could also be dependent on boat positioning and what you're fishing. You can throw this thing out, and then as you rotate at the hips and drag to your left, just remember that as you come back to the front, you want to go ahead and take up that slack so you can start reeling it or dragging again to the side to set the hook. Since you are dragging it, you're probably going to get that bite maybe mid drag. So I would, as you drag to your left or your right, if you feel that bite and you're in this motion, take up that slack, come back to the front, and then pull again to see if you can feel pressure. If you haven't really moved a whole lot from your 12 o'clock position, maybe to a 1 to 2 o'clock position, you're probably still pretty good. Just take up that extra slack and go ahead and sweep to your right to go ahead and set that hook. If you're here and you've taken up your slack and you're now feeling that pressure and you know for sure you have a bite, go ahead and take up that slack and come back to that 12 o'clock position and then set your hook. Don't try to set the hook when you're way back here and then you're trying to get that extra little turn. You're probably not going to have enough force to set that hook. So if you're already in this position here where you're pointing to your 3 o'clock or your 9 o'clock, depending on which side you're sweeping to, go ahead and start reeling up that slack and coming back to that 12 o'clock position and then set the hook. Also, with that, we have the Grande Bass plastics. This is a 4-inch crush crawl and a green pumpkin. This would be great to pair up with this as a pair. Use these as a trailer. You could also fish these independently, Texas rig, Carolina rig, or whatever your favorite way of fishing plastics. But you can either pair these two up or fish this independent, whichever one. You can't go wrong. Just listen to the fish, meaning however fast or slow you are working the bait, let the fish tell you whether or not they want that bait to be sped up and it's moving faster, or slow it down and let it take its time getting across the ground or whatever it's doing. But listen to the fish. The next bait here is a dynamic J-Spec. This is a jerk bait. Let's see here. This color is called their Ghost Clown. Dives down 1 to 4 feet. Excuse me. So this is a shallow water jerk bait here. Not very big. I would probably throw this on a spinning setup or a very, very light bait casting setup. Make sure you adjust your drag and your tension appropriately. Make sure you do that for all of your lures. This is a 5/16 ounce. So again, spinning setup or a light bait casting setup. But I would probably just throw this on a spinning setup, because I don't know, me personally, I don't know if this will. It'll be something I have to try out to see if this will actually throw really good on a bait caster. Again, let the fish tell you. Typically, cold water, the fish, bait fish, are going to be moving slow, so you're probably going to be doing a snap, pause, snap, pause, snap, snap, pause. You're going to be letting that bait sit for a very long time, because these things are slow, probably even dying off with this cold water. So with the jerk baits and those long pauses, you're imitating a dying bait fish that has that last little bit of energy, and they're trying to move, but they just don't have enough. So let the fish tell you. Make those decisions based on what the fish are doing. Next, we have a Monsterbass Vibe Master. This is a blade bait. This one comes in at a 1/2 ounce, and this is a blue chrome. Blue chrome is one of those tried and tested and proven colors to catch fish. I have not used these blade baits. I got a bunch of them in here in the shop. I don't know if you guys can see right up here at the top where that clip is, right there where my finger is at, but there are 3 holes. You can move that clip around, which will give that bait a different angle, and so it'll give you a different action. The fish or the bait will dive different, it will react different, so experiment with that. This is a great cold water lure. You could probably use this much like you do the yo-yo method with a lipless crankbaits, where you throw it out there and you pop it up, and then you let it flutter back down and reel up the slack, and then pop it back up again. Catch a lot of fish using that. And the last bait that I have here is the X-Zone 11-inch Blitz worm. This is a big worm, so whatever hook you're using, whatever brand hooks you're using, make sure you go with your big ones, either your EWGs or even the round bends, but you want to go with that big one to make sure you're getting the use of the worm, as well as making sure that where the fish bite, you're more likely going to get a hook in them. With this, you can throw this Texas rig most likely on a big worm setup like this. I would throw this with a Carolina rig and drag it. Yeah, I mean, you can fish this different zones. It's a bottom lure, so no matter whether you're fishing shallow or you're fishing deep, however, just make sure you got the right hook set up, your right weight set up, and overall setup. Your rod, your reels, your what am I trying to say? Fishing line, my goodness. The reel, I would go with that medium high to high speed, mainly because you want something to take up that slack really, really fast, especially, like I said, when you're doing your sweeping motion left or right, and then thump, you feel that bite, and you know for sure, oh yeah, that's a bite, I feel the pressure. Come forward, you want to take up as much slack as possible, and then swing to set the hook. So medium high to high speed reel. I fish with 6 gill, and their medium high for me is their 7-to-1 gear ratios, and then their high speed is their 8-to-1 gear ratios. So anything from a 7-to-1 gear ratio to an 8-to-1 gear ratio, I would use that on your Carolina rig setups, just because, like I said, something to take up that slack really, really fast, and that way when you go to set that hook, it only takes you a couple turns to reel up that slack, and you're not having to really crank down on that thing to try to get that slack taken up. that is it, guys. That's all the baits that we have here in the southern region Monsterbass for the month of December. Once things calm down a little bit, I know I say that a lot. The last few months, I have been doing a lot of classes. I am an instructor. I'm one of the instructors for my law enforcement agency, as well as an instructor for a group called Alert based out of Texas. And we've been doing a lot of classes with our police academy classes, and that sometimes tends to take up a lot of my time. Nevertheless, I will do my best in the year 2025 to get more content out for you guys, whether it's on the range or it is on the water. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. I hope you guys have a Happy New Year. And I hope the year 2025 bring a lot of new and exciting challenges for you, whether it's on the water, it's in the woods, it's on the range, or it's just everyday life. But nonetheless, guys, I have really enjoyed this ride. I am enjoying this ride. And I could not do this without saying thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because without him, guys, I probably would not be doing this. And that's me being very, very sincere. I am truly blessed that I am able to do this. I don't have the best equipment. However, I have equipment that is allowing me to film videos, a laptop that is allowing me to post my stuff onto YouTube. And I'm just very thankful for that. And I have a family that understands. Guys, this year, I think I'm going to pivot a little bit. I'm going to let the kids be more involved. They're getting up there in that age. So I'm going to let them be a little bit more involved with a lot more things. So stay tuned for that, guys. That's all I got, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed since day one. And I'll see you guys in 2025. Till next time, guys. See you in great outdoors.